Hi, this is Tanya from Love Buddha Tarot, back with the cards for today for the 18th of January 2017. I keep going to say 16 there, I don't know why. Sorry the cards are a little bit late this morning. I had really bizarre dreams last night and this morning woke up and thought, right, okay, I'm not getting up just yet. So sorry, I took a little bit me time. I needed to. There's no way I could have worked if I hadn't of. So, today's cards, we have quite a few cards. We have four because two dropped out with the tarot card. I've done the Osho again, and I've done the Colette Baron Reed. I like working with three different decks together. Very different to how the cards have been lately as well. So quite interesting. Like I say, I went to shuffle the tarot cards, and this one literally flew out of the deck, and then this other one dropped as well. So this one flew up high, this one flew up low. Um, so I'm going to read them two together. I really apologise for this. I am still bunged up with flu, so I'm sorry about that. Please just bear with me. Right, okay. So the first one that we have is the Knight of Cups. Now, when this card comes in, there's two words that always, if you watch these videos, you'll have heard me say this before. This is intuition and this is love, because this night, when this night comes in, it's urging you to listen to that little voice in your head and in your heart that you may be trying to drown out, because this is around matters of the heart and it's around emotions as well. And what it's telling you is it's telling you to think with your heart at this time. Turn your head off. Your head can often try and give you logical explanations for things, and we can look down the rational side of whatever, but your heart doesn't want to hear that. Your heart is trying to guide you here, and this is saying, please let your heart guide you as well. Now, what I'm just being drawn to there, sorry, before I go on, is these fishes. And it's sort of like a feeling of, you may feel that if you follow your heart, you might have to be swimming upstream. So it's not easy, but at the end of the day, do you want to just go and follow follow the rest? Follow the rest there, right? Okay, sorry, I'm just seeing what I'm getting in here. Right, I know I've spoke this week about angels a lot, and like I say, I don't usually work with angels, but they are coming in a lot, and they are coming in a lot to me. And what I'm getting here is I'm getting, he has the angel wings on his helmet here, but he also has them on the back of his shoes as well. And this is where the spurs would be. So I really feel that spirit or angels or whatever, you think is there, is trying to spur you on at the moment, so it's like it's giving you a push forward. And like I say, there may be, you may think that your heart is talking crazy at the moment, but no matter how crazy it is, this card is saying that, follow it, follow your heart. Sorry, something's just come in there, a Tony Robbins quote. If I remember it, I'll say it. So this is saying, it's got an optimistic feel about it. This is what I'm saying with this card, and it's sort of saying that you might be ready to charge ahead with something as well. What this is saying as well is there somebody that you can't get out of your head? Is there somebody that you keep dreaming about or thinking about or something like that? Because this card it talks about a lot of synchronicity. It is very connected to spirit, and sometimes when we meet somebody and we have this when we can't get them out of our head sort of thing, this is what this card actually is depicting, but it's asking you to act on that as well. If we remember the Page of Cups, he's all a little bit shy and doesn't really want to come forward. And he's all cryptic. The Knight of Cups is actually ready to go forward as well. So this is more an action card than a thinking card. When I'm looking at this card as well, I'm sort of seeing this knight, and it's like he's coming back from a journey. If we have a look, this it looks quite barren. It looks like he's been in the desert or something like that. So this could be some sort of emotional journey. Now, we've all been on an emotional roller coaster for quite a while, and what this is saying is like he's sort of been on this journey, been like sort of yeah, like lost in the desert. Sorry, they're giving me a lot of different things coming through there, and I'm trying to interpret them in the best way in words. Which is, if I could show you the pictures in my head, it would be so much easier. So yeah, so it's like he's coming back on this journey here, and he's holding his cup outward here as well. So this is saying that he's ready to give and receive his heart, if that makes sense, receive from his heart. Sorry, that's it, And if we have a look at his helmet's pushed back here, and he seems quite relaxed as well. So this is, he doesn't seem defensive now. It's like it doesn't look like he's going into battle. Even the horse looks to be just sort of prancing, that's what it's like. It looks like a little bit like a dressage horse, doesn't it? And this is talking about, being ready to experience love, ready for that. So like I say, when I do feel with this, there's communication of some sort coming in, because there's a lot of blue coming in, and I feel that there may be mountains to climb with this, but it's like I say, I feel communication is key here. I did mention before, about synchronicity and stuff like this, so there's a sort of magnetic I'm feeling with this. There's a pull towards something. Either this is you or somebody is being pulled towards you as well. And you may not be able to logically work it out, but there's this intrigue, and there's this, keep popping into your thoughts. And, this card talks a lot about that there's nothing by chance, and it's saying that it's time to take the bull by the horns, So if there is somebody in your head who you keep thinking of like this, then contact them. It's sort of the time is right, they're saying here, and just see what happens from there, because there's always, when this card comes in, there's always like a strange series of events follow, I feel, and it's like I say, there's the universe, and you are guided by spirit here as well, within this card as well. I feel that there's a sort of more poetic view on life as well. There's a good energy coming through this, and I feel that this person that you may be thinking of, I feel that there's a friendliness with them. I feel that there's a warmth with them as well. I feel they probably are very in touch with their emotions. They might be a bit of a dreamer, but there's an airness of freeness around them as well. So I feel, if this person does come into your life, there is an escape from the mundane. Now, that's quite interesting, because one of the cards that came out here, I didn't actually link it at first until now. So right, okay, that's it. It all makes sense now. You see, yeah, it's like the dots are being joined. That's what it's like. So like I say, that this person who may be in your thoughts or in your mind or whatever, I feel that there's a deepness there as well. This person is, like I say, I feel you know sees life in quite a different way, and this will allow you to escape sort of the monotony. I feel like that, because there's a real freeness, there's a letting go in this as well, like a right, okay, I don't have to pretend. That's what I'm getting. I can take the mask off, sort of thing. And this is sort of saying that your eyes could be open to a new way of living. Where you will smile more. And you will experience love, because we all need to experience love. If we don't experience love, this is when our heart can shut down, and this is when our heart shuts down. This is when we can. We experience like a grayness. It's love is the ultimate life force, I feel, for all of us. When that is there, it is great, and it nourishes us and it replenishes us. When it isn't there, this is when we feel out in the cold, like we did with the 5 of coins on Monday, I think that was. So this card is saying, please take a chance today. Listen to your heart. Send that message, There are good things there. Spirit are presenting you with good things. They're just waiting for you to take the chance. So be prepared. You may be swept off your feet today, or you may be the sweeper. It's entirely up to you. But I do feel this is a day of communicating, getting your feelings out, taking that chance as well. Because there's a really nice, there's quite a pure feeling coming through this with this. So I feel that there's a lot of honesty, and I feel that there's a lot of innocence as well coming with this. It's not like this mad passionate sort of thing, but it's it's an opening up and opening yourself up. I'm feeling with that. Now, what is interesting is the other card that fell out alongside of this is the Lovers. So this definitely says to me that there is a proposal of some sort, an offer is going to be made when you see these two together. So the Knight is coming in with an offer, and I do feel that the offer is around matters of the heart here with the Lovers. And like I've said, they say that all you need is love, and I do feel that this is around. Now, this is lovely because it's, lately with the cards, there hasn't been any magic, there hasn't really been any love with them, but this is talking about, it's a lovely, lovely card, the Lovers. But, this is saying that there's the potential for protection. Protection, that wasn't what I wanted to say, but if that had to came out, then, maybe that was what was needed to be said. So perfection, that was what I wanted to say. And, there's a harmony comes in with this, and a mutual attractiveness. Now, this is quite strange when I seen this, because if we can see this card, it looks like Adam and Eve there. Now, yesterday I was talking about the Garden of Eden, and 2 days ago I actually got a vision from Spirit about the Garden of Eden, and I was presented with this huge, big, red, shiny apple. So it was really strange. And then yesterday, the reason I was talking about the Garden of Eden is because with this Iraq trip, I found out I'm going to Babylon. And I didn't even know Babylon was real. I didn't even know it existed. And then I was told that Babylon was where the Garden of Eden was, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So the Garden of Edens came up a couple of times this week for me personally. So I thought it was quite interesting when I seen this card. And if we look at this card, okay, what I think is interesting is the Lovers. Like I said, this does indicate love. This does indicate an attraction of some sort, and it often, when this card comes in, it does link to some sort of soulmate or something like that. It's not just a normal run of the mill. Now, the first thing I was drawn to here is it's like this mountain is between them. And also, if we look at the Knight of Cups, he is sort of heading towards the mountains. So I feel this is good. This is sort of right, okay, making a move. When I looked at the cards as well, what I thought was interesting is we've got the guy here, whether it's Adam or whoever, and the tree that's behind him, I don't know if this is like a burning bush or whatever, because there's fire there, so this is indicating to me passionate. He is looking directly at the female, Eve, whoever, he is looking directly there. But there is clouds in between him, okay? We have her. She is actually looking to the divine. She is, she's not really looking at him. She is looking to sort of spirit for the answers. But we do have this snake. We do have this temptation. And we do have these apples here as well. When we're looking at the angel here, I talked about the angel in the Knight of Cups, saying that I do feel that this is sort of guided. Well, the angel here is all in purple, which is our crown chakra. So this is again saying this is a divine connection, very divine connection if we have a look at that. The sun is shining on it, but we have the red, which the red of the wings is passion and it's security. So when this card comes in, like I say, that it is a very, very powerful connection, and what it says is the power of this can actually get through any of the obstacles, once them two lay everything bare. If you have a look, they're both naked. So this is like, right, okay, nothing to hide, this is how things are. So like I say, it is an incredibly strong bond here. And what this says is there is love there, there is. It's there without a doubt, I think. But there's always a but with this card as well, the lovers. It's not as straightforward as that. It's not just like running off into the sunset and everything being great. There are decisions to be made around this, and what this talks about as well is a battle with your head and your heart. Now, with the Knight of Cups, I said this is a time to turn your head off and let your heart speak. The lovers is like, this is saying the same thing, but it's talking about the battle between the two of them. That quote's coming in again. I don't know what it is. It's I really need to find that because it's coming twice and I will end up saying it wrong. It's a Tony Robbins quote, I think. It's about magic and stuff like that. I'm just going to see if I can see it here. No. Sorry about this. I wish they wouldn't bring things in like this when I'm reading. I might have to stop it because I don't like doing this within the reading. Right, okay. One more time, I'm going to have a look, and if I can't, so sorry about this. Is it logic? Well, right, okay, I haven't found it there, but it's logic. Logic will bring a man what he wants. Magic will bring a man what he needs. Or the other way around. I don't know. It's one of the other ones, but sorry, that's coming in here. So legacy, we're talking about the logical mind and we're talking about the heart here. So please forgive me. I'm so sorry about that. So this is talking. It's serious stuff, yeah. And like I say, there's this battle going on. Now, within the past, we've all been burned. Everybody has. It's very rare to speak to somebody who has been unhurt, untainted, who has lost their trust a bit, who whatever, and we all bear scars as well, our hearts do bear scars here. But what this card is saying is, please don't let these scars or this fear actually stop you from taking this risk as well, because I feel that if you do, you will be risking much more if that makes sense. So this is saying, like, follow your heart. There's also, when this card comes in, there's some sort of sacrifice needs to be made as well. Within the traditional tarot, the old school tarot of the lovers, there was a guy and there was two women, and it was the choice that had to be made with it. So this is where this temptation sort of comes in as well. And like I say, it's if you don't take the risk, I feel the risk is much more. Now, that's just bringing in my father. I don't know why they're bringing this in. He got a recording contract with a very big record label in 1963, and this record label had just signed the Rolling Stones, and it was all big, and my dad was in this band, and he wanted to do it. And what happened was his father, my grandfather, told him that he couldn't. And he said, no, you can't do it. You have a good job here, and you need to stick with it and whatever. So my dad didn't do it. And my dad is now 70-year-old, and that is the biggest regret of his life. His life has basically been built on this, turning down this offer that was there to him, and he's filled with so many what ifs. It might not have worked, but it might have, and this has basically kept him crippled and kept his heart closed for quite a long time. And the resentment that built between him and my grandfather because of this, they never spoke about it, but the resentment that was built put a wedge between them two as well, So this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying taking a risk, Yes, it would have been a risk for him to do that, in the same way that this card is saying there's a risk you need to take. But if you don't, this could be, a lifetime of what ifs, I think that's why they brought that in. So sorry about that. So within this card, what they're saying is that, they say that within life, we work on two modes, so we're operating all of the time. We're either operating through love or we're operating through fear. And it's up to us what we choose here, but we need to remember to choose wisely, because they're saying there it could be a shame. It could be a shame, a shame. Why are they bringing shame in? This is some shaman, shaman, shaman. Oh, sorry. Right, okay. This could be a shame if you don't. This could be linked in some way to shame with this temptation, or this could be in some way linked to a shaman, because that's what they're saying here, you know. So if this is shamanic, then obviously this is a deep this is a deep connection. You know, I'm not going to go into shamanistic stuff at the moment. So they're the two tarot cards. Sorry, they were a little bit. I felt they didn't flow. There was a little bit jitteriness, a little bit. I feel a little bit hesitation was around there. That's what I'm sort of feeling here. You know, I wasn't sort of going and full in the flow with it, but you know, expect some sort of proposal, some offer, some message, send one, you know, whatever today. I do feel there's matters of the heart that need to be addressed. There may be a risk involved with it, but it's you know, like, turn off the fear button, you know, stop stirring the fear soup, I think, you know, and actually it's love soup. I think that's what you need. So right, okay, then we get to the Osho card. Now at first I didn't, like I say, I didn't sort of get where this was coming in with this cards, but it did become apparent there. Because what this card is showing, I really don't like this card at all. It is the Nine of Wands in traditional tarot. And it's the Nine of Fire, I think, in Osho. And it's called exhaustion. And I mean, if we look at that, that is just not a nice feeling. My chest is actually tightening up when I'm looking at this. And what this card is saying, if we have a look, the figure in that, he's weary, he's tired, he's lost his zest for life, you know, and it's like he's trapped in a machine. You know, the machine is his life, and it is grinding him down. You know, what this says is when we get into a role like this, we can become quite like robotic. You know, when we let things get this far. So if we stop pushing for what we want, you know, because we don't see there's any chance in happening, and we sort of, right, okay, we start to live like a machine, you know. Now, if we remember, a machine hasn't got a heart, and I think this is what it's talking about here. This is talking about, you know, following your heart, keeping your heart open, you know, letting love in. When we don't have that, this is when, like I say, we end up living like this, and we live a life where we are living to work, not working to live, you know. So this man in this card here, it's like he's living a life of dogma, and every single day he does that, he's losing a little bit of himself, until one day he will wake up and he won't have a clue who he is, you know. He's lost his playful side, he no longer knows what makes him happy, and he realizes that he's merely been existing and he has not been living, you know. So what this card is saying is that this man at the moment is fighting for this life, fighting to live this life. He's wearing himself out to the point of exhaustion, and it's a life he doesn't even really believe in, you know. So it's like, come on, what is actually going on here? Life is not a business, you know. It's not to be managed. It's a mystery, and it's meant to be lived, and it's meant to be lived to its fullest, you know. That is not living here. I mean, if we have a look, where's that card? You know, look at the freedom that comes with that card. And look at that, you know, it's like, oh, I really, really don't like this card. So this is saying, you know, this is a time to be a bit like the fool, to stop this, you know. Why fight for something that you don't believe in, and it's something that makes you miserable, you know, and makes you unhappy? Because this is it, you know. It's time to wipe the slate clean, you know, and break away from this life that is making him so unhappy and making things look so bleak here as well, you know. I mean, look at it, it's like he's just trapped in this little thing, and there's everything going on around him, and it's you know, I mean, he's green, you know. It's not a nice card at all. Now, Alan Watts, I love Alan Watts. I don't know if any of you listen to Alan Watts' teachings. He's just he knows, you know, he knows. A most amazing man. I think if I ever had a dinner party and you could have any guest, living or dead, I think it would be Alan Watts that I would invite. And what he says is that to have a short life doing what you enjoy doing is better than to have a long life spent in a miserable way. You know, and life is not a dress rehearsal. You know, we don't get another chance at it. It's not like, all right, okay, we can see how this side pans out, and then, you know, we'll try again once that's finished. You can't do that. You have one life, you know, and tomorrow is promised to nobody. So, you know, it's about making the most of this one that you've been given, you know. And if you don't like something, then you change it. It's as simple as, if something is making you feel like this, then, you know, you really need to question, why are you putting up with that, you know, because it's not even the life of a dog, you know. That's it. This dog, so, you know, my little dog's sitting there asleep and he has a better life than this. So it's like, you know, putting your nose to the grind and just going on this monotonous, like I say, a machine, soulless, you know. There is no soul in that. And I feel that the longer that persists, the longer the less of your soul you will have, you know. So it's like your soul is dying on a daily basis. So this is about saying, open your heart, you know, take that risk, go after the life that you want, not this machine that you feel tied to, you know. So what Osho says about this card is, a man who lives through conscience becomes hard. A man who lives through consciousness becomes soft. Because a man who has some ideas about how to live naturally becomes hard. This is when it's ideas, this is rules, this is how we should live. You know, this is what makes us hard. He is continuously to carry this character around with himself. So he's continuously having to play this part, you know. This character is like an armor. It's his protection. It's his security. His whole life is invested in that character. And he always reacts to situations through the character and not directly. So it's like, okay, what he should do or whatever. If you ask him a question, the answer is ready-made. That is the sign of a hard person. He is dull, he is stupid, he is mechanical. He may be a good computer, but he is not a man. You do something and he reacts in a well-established way. His reaction is predictable. He is a robot. The real man acts spontaneously. If you ask him a question, your question gets a response, not a reaction. He opens his heart to your question, he exposes himself to your question, and he responds to it. And the key within that is he opens his heart, you know. That's it. If you know, a lot of times within life it's like we read a script about what, you know, and somebody will ask us a question and we will reply in how we think they want to, with what they want to hear, you know, and we say these words to ourselves over and over again to try and make them fit in and to try and make them real. Whereas when we are living free and when we are letting our spirit, you know, our spirit is free and when we were coming from the heart, you know, somebody will ask us a question and we will just spout out whatever is there, you know, and it will come from deep within us, you know, and it might not be what the other person wants to hear, but it's what we have inside, and that comes out. So you can always tell a free soul, you know, compared to somebody who is quite who is not living freely, really. That's what I want to say with that, you know. Somebody who has expectations of who they should be is always playing an act, and you know, it's like always playing a game, and the real them never gets the chance to shine. Whereas somebody who lives their life in their own way, you know, and has this freedom, they tend to shine so much brighter because, you know, the pressure isn't on them. The pressure's off, you know, they don't have to act. They don't have to remember the script, you know, they don't have to think about, okay, will this get me the right reaction or whatever. They just are, you know. And this is quite similar to what we had yesterday when it was about like embrace your inner weirdness and stuff, wasn't it, you know? So I do feel they tie in a little way, but I feel that this exhaustion is coming in by keeping the heart closed, keeping the soul restricted, you know. This is where I feel this exhaustion is coming in. But this is what I like about the Knight of Cups and the Lovers coming in with it, because it's like, you know, it's sort of feeling maybe at a time when you are ready to let that heart open and you are ready to, right, okay, you know, there may be obstacles, but this is where I'm wanting to go. The final card is a Colette Baron Reed card. I don't know if I've got my teeth in today. I don't know what's wrong with me not being able to speak. And it's in the protection position again, which they all have been this week. And what this is it's 3 and 8, so that's 11, so that's 1. So yeah, this is like a new beginning as well, you know. So that's good. It's a new start. So this is the card called To Be Fair, and this is again in the protection position, like I've said. And what this is saying is it's asking you to look at where there is injustices and where there is sort of not fairness within your life, you know. And like I say, this guy will probably look at it and say his life isn't fair because, you know, that is not fair for him to live a life like that. It's not right. It's not on, you know. And it's saying that it is now time to stand up for yourself. This is what you need to do, you know, and you will feel your power again. You will feel, once you do this, once you stand up for yourself, you know, a lot of blues in this as well, so it's really connected with the throat chakra. I've mentioned before today, this is all about communication and communicating as well, you know. So there's a lot of blues, but there's also healing. There's healing in words they're coming in and saying to me there as well. So it's saying that you will find your power once you stand up for yourself, you know. This is when you will find your power and you will find it start to surge through you as well. So it's saying that you need to sort of choose your cause at the moment and commit to that, you know. So again, I do feel there is a choice, because with the Lovers, you know, and with this, and like I say, there is a sacrifice as well, because, you know, the Lovers always talks about sacrifice, and when we have a choice, a choice is we have a choice of two options and one of them has to go. So, you know, be prepared for that as well. So what this is saying is that if you act in a fair way at the moment, you know, this could, any conflicts that are around, there could be a resolution to them as well. And what this card is saying again is, you know, open your heart really. But what it's saying is, when you act with kindness and when you act with empathy and when you act with courage, you know, this is when you sort of, you know, you can stand in your own and the conflicts are not as bad. When you're coming from a hard place and, you know, you're giving empathy, you're giving kindness, and you are being brave as well, you know, this is when, you know, doors will open for you. So this is saying, you know, this will restore balance, because I really feel the balance that has been out, which we've talked about quite a lot, you know, is all because it hasn't been authentic. It hasn't been, you know, it hasn't been fair, you know, and your heart has been shut down. So I really feel this is where the balance is going to be brought in. And I feel that this connection to spirit as well will be restored, because I really feel that sort of hasn't been around lately. And, you know, we can turn it off for a while, but it always comes back. You know, our connection to spirit is something we can never ever get rid of, really, you know. So this card is saying, you know, trust your intuitive knowledge, trust your own wisdom here as well, because your intuitive knowledge, your connection to spirit, your inner voice, your higher self, you know, this is where the magic is, you know. And they will also show you the magic of life as well, because there's no magic in that card. You know, there's no magic. And like I say, we all need magic. You know, magic will give you exactly what you need, you know, when you choose magic. And when I'm looking at this card as well, I don't know, I'll turn it that way so you can see it. Can we see it's an owl there? You know, and I love owls. I really, really do. And what it says about the owl is that an owl can see in the dark, you know. So this is like the light coming out of the darkness. An owl can see its way through. And an owl can also turn its head sort of 360 as well, can't it? So it can see the bigger picture of things. And an owl is a very intuitive animal as well. You know, when this comes up in any sort of tarot reading, you know, it is talking about being very connected. It is a guardian, you know, it is sort of showing you the way. So, and like I say, you know, we always have wise owls, don't we? Right, okay, this is quite interesting. When I'm looking at this card, there's a pearl on one side of the scales, and there's a fortune cookie on the other. Now, pearls always represent tears to me. I don't know if they do to anybody else, but whenever I see pearls, it always speaks of tears. There's a sadness, but then there's a fortune cookie, but the fortune cookie hasn't been opened yet. So it's sort of, this is where I feel there's an imbalance at the moment as well. So yeah, so quite strange cards. Them, I really feel that reading was quite disjointed. So I'm sorry about that. But there's, like I say, there feels like there's a hesitation, and there feels like there's a little bit of a resistance. That this is what I'm feeling like. I'm being sort of pulled. I don't know if in two directions, but I'm feeling pulled as into, I think it's logic and heart. That's what I'm feeling I'm being pulled with. So, like I say, there's I do feel there's decisions to be made, but I do feel there's a lot of emotions coming up today. So be prepared for them. Expect the unexpected. Maybe you might get a call, a message, something like that you weren't expecting, but like I say, there's a reason for it, because synchronicity is at play, and spirit are working to help you at the moment as well, so like I say, listen to your intuition, keep your heart open, turn your fear off, and don't let your head sway you from taking a risk that you may actually live to regret. That's what's coming. Right, okay. So if anybody would like a reading with me, please get in touch via my Facebook or via my website. The links are below. I've still got a little bit of a backlog from being ill, but that should be finished today, tomorrow at the latest. So have a lovely day, and like I say, just I don't know, you know what? They're really, really nice cards, and I'm getting, they should be a really nice feeling with them, but there's a touch of anxiety coming in. That's what I'm sort of feeling here, a touch of anxiety. So please don't, I feel whenever we do open our heart, it is sometimes scary, because we run the risk of getting hurt or whatever, but, your heart is quite resilient, and like I say, look at the scars it's already got, see them as medals that you actually tried for something. That's what I think we should see any heart scars for. We went after something that we wanted, and whether it worked or not, that it was the experience, and we were brave enough to do that. Okay, so if anybody wants a reading, please get in touch, and I'll see you tomorrow with the cards of today. Satnam.